So, tell me about Tumblr.
This is very serious.
Yeah.
I have a poetry
Serious
blog
review.
on Tumblr under an alias.
Yeah,
so
of
how the
course.
did you find out? That's so scary.
I won't tell if you don't tell him.
Hello. I'm Christian Lee here for Earworm Digital. I'm here with
Sofia Mills.
Sophie. How are you doing on this lovely day?
I am great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good too. A little tired, but
A little
outside
tired?
of that, pretty good.
Did you stay up last night, Rager?
That's a story for another day. But
Ooh.
yeah. It was I guess something like a rager. But
I didn't know you were like that.
I didn't know. Actually, I don't know what you're like. So we're about to find out in this interview too.
Me too.
And so let's, you're a musician. So let's talk about the music first before we dive into other stuff.
Okay.
And you just released a cover by, I love his music, but I don't know, is it just Joe?
I think it's just Joe. I think so.
Uh-huh.
It's probably, if it's not, that's an L on my part.
Yeah.
But let's say that it is.
But yeah, you did a cover of his song, is End of Beginning, right?
Yes.
And what made you want to do a cover of that song specifically?
Well, I didn't know that song existed. He put out an album called Decide in 2022, I think.
Yeah.
Why
his
did I
latest
say
one.
2000? Okay, anyway.
Yeah, last year.
And basically, my friend was visiting this spring, and she just threw it on. And I was like, oh my god, this is probably one of the best songs I've ever heard. And I
that's a
loved
good
it so much. And then I was like, I want to do a cover. And I kind of, when I record by myself, I am always the worst. And I'll start something, then I'll be like, you're not good, shut up. And then I'll stop myself. So it's always better for me to do covers. And I was just like, might as well do a cover of this. And I don't know, I loved it. I think it's one of those songs where on its own it's so beautiful, but then it also has so much potential to make it however you want to in your own way. And I think that that's so amazing. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I also like this other cover you've done. I think it was I'll Melt With You.
Yes.
That one's really good
Yeah.
too.
Thank you.
But I've noticed, there's a running theme with those two covers and, just most of your songs. They tend to be just a little bit more slow, a little bit more melancholy.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, when you're writing a song, what inspires you to write it? Just how you're feeling, or do you have an idea?
I think I never go into it with an idea, because if I go into it thinking I'm going to write a song today, I can't do it. I set myself up for failure.
Yeah.
So usually I just go into it and yeah, I'll just kind of word vom about what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. It just comes out of me pretty naturally. But also I've noticed that something that happens a lot, which is really odd, is that I will write a song and then 5 or 6 months later, I'll look back on it and I'll be like, oh, that's what I was talking about? I'll kind of write about things before I even process them or think about them. And then later I'm like, oh, a little gift for future Sophia. So yeah.
That's pretty nice. And then, I heard a lot of stories too, because, I think, for example, if Spice Girls.
Yes.
Yeah. Wannabe, and then, I know for a lot of other artists too, usually one of, their biggest songs, they do it, just quick, it's an idea, and they just do it so quick,
Yep.
in, half hour. Was that the same with Coffee Breath, or did
Yeah.
that one take a while too?
I did that all in 15 minutes. It was honestly the first song that I ever wrote in my life. And I remember I was 15 and I got a really cheap, shitty mic from Radio Shack right before it was going bankrupt.
Oh, wow.
And it was $13, and I had gotten a laptop for Christmas. And I was like, oh, finally I can use GarageBand. And so I just kind of did a loop, and I was like, oh, I'm so cool, I'm a producer. And I just kind of wrote about what came to me. A lot of people ask me what it's about, but I have a hard time answering that question with that song or with really any of my songs, because a lot of the time it's just about what I was thinking in that moment. It's not I go into it with a story in mind, or
You say that you just live your life like that too in the moment.
I try to. I feel like I'm not a very in the moment person with anything that I do except with music. Yeah.
I mean, that's the most important part for you, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah.
And then, so you're originally from Massachusetts, and you moved here. I guess we talked about it like 2.5 years ago.
Yes.
Well, what made you want to move to LA specifically?
Well, basically I graduated high school and then I went to
Was it Belmont?
yeah. Oh my God, you did your research.
I try. Yeah, I try.
I went to Belmont University in Nashville for a semester and a half, and I liked it, but I'm not a very school-minded person. I like academics and stuff, but I'm also the type of person where I'm like, if I'm not doing it on my own accord, like if I'm being told what to do, then I won't do it because I'm stubborn as fuck.
Yeah.
And it's so. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, I just realized that. I basically I dropped out, and I was like, this is not my thing, and I was just thinking like, what is the next move that I can do, because it's still like this period of my life of being like 19 to 23 or whatever. I want that to be for education, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like school.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, what's a way that I could still learn about the field that I'm in? And so I was just like, might as well just throw yourself in the shark tank and move out. And I had management out here at the time. And so it was kind of like naturally the only other place that I could have been. So I just kind of
Makes sense.
chose to. Yeah.
So I was wondering, because I mean, I know you dropped out, but also, because like I heard, Nashville is like one of the like best music cities too.
Yeah.
You just didn't like the vibe?
I was originally thinking of moving to Nashville because I was in that I was like having that moment where I was like, I'm dropping out of college, but I still want to be in a music city.
Yeah.
And obviously the three are like New York, Nashville, LA.
Yeah.
But Nashville, I found personally that because it's such a small city and it has that like small town vibe to it.
That's true.
Connections are very important. And I just did not have any, and I didn't feel like I was brave enough at the time to like advocate for myself and be like, I'm gonna be in this conversation. Like I felt like I needed some help there. And also I did go to a few studios and talk about recording, but it is still very centered around country.
Yeah.
And it did feel like a little bit restricting, so I just thought that it would be better to move to LA. Plus again, I had management out here, so it's like,
You never thought about making a country song?
I guess not, but it could happen. You never know when
That's
the moment
true.
strikes.
Do you even listen to any country music?
I do. I do. I really love are they just the Chicks now? The
Yeah,
Dixie
they're Chicks now,
Yeah.
I mean, I know them as Dixie Chicks, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, like, Taylor Swift, when she was country, I like Blake Shelton. I love
Blake Shelton,
I
huh?
love
Wow,
country
that's a
music.
good one.
I think that there is I think country music gets written off a lot because, like, the country music that's on the radio is, like, beer and trucks in the army.
Yeah,
and
that's true. The big
it,
three.
Yeah, and it feels, like, exhausting. But there's some country that's so good. Like, I love Dolly Parton.
Oh, of
I
course.
love
Oh,
old Dolly
so
Parton. Yeah.
I mean, 9 to 5 will always be a classic.
It will always be a classic. Her playing that on her acrylics, insane.
I know.
Love her.
Okay, so we talked about country music. Who else, like, growing up or just even now, like, who are, like, some artists that you really are into?
I mean, Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
I think, was my biggest. She was my first artist that I was, like, all in with. Like, I went to her Fearless tour.
You did?
When I was, like, 7. Yeah.
Wow.
And Justin Bieber opened for her.
Wow,
it was
that's
crazy.
insane.
It was his first, like, on-stage performance. It was crazy.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Dang, back in his YouTube era.
Literally. I mean, like, I'm really into a lot of everything. I really love Wu-Tang. I'm really into Wu-Tang. I love Nas. I love, like, 90s hip-hop, especially New York hip-hop. So, like, Biggie, too. I love Ethel Cain. I mean,
love Ethel
she's
Cain, too.
been...
She's amazing.
I saw her in Utah in May, and I open-mouthed sobbed violently in front of everyone. It was really sexy and hot and attractive. And who else? I've been really into this band Honey Claws lately that do like like alt rap in like the mid 2000s. They don't make music anymore, but I found their music from Breaking Bad, and I was like, oh my god. But yeah, I listen to a little bit of everything. I'm very much the type of person where it's like, it takes a lot for me to find new stuff because I get so attached to the stuff that I already love.
Yeah.
So like I'll listen to the same
feel
albums
that.
over and over again. And it's like, girl, shut up. But yeah.
I do love Ethel. We have to talk more about Ethel after the interview ends. I can't spend a whole segment talking about it unless. Should we?
I love her.
I know,
I love her
she's
so
good.
much.
Did she play Thoroughfare?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she did. She played A House in Nebraska.
Of
She played
course.
Gibson Girl.
Mm-hmm.
God, she played Crush. I love her
That's so
so much.
good.
I love her so much. I would love to look into her eyes and say, shh. I love you. I would love to do that.
Well, being from Massachusetts, it's kind of like the vibe is like, I guess even in the small town too. It'd be more like, was it like big around like, like the football team and like everything around that? Or
So
no?
my town was so small that we didn't have a football
Oh.
team. We, I think they like partnered with the neighboring town or whatever. But,
Okay.
like very into like, I mean, New England is very much like attached to like the Red Sox and the Patriots and the
yeah.
Bruins. And so everyone's really into sports. And then like our school had like baseball and soccer that people were really into. It's definitely, I mean,
Gave off American Teenager vibes?
I would say a little bit, yeah. I feel like there was less patriotism just because it's not the South, you know?
Yeah.
But very much like small blue collar. It's my town, like literally, it's like the sign going into it is like, it's like Rockport, Massachusetts, and then it's like a seaside village, and it's like everyone's like a fisherman or a clammer or a lobsterman. So it's definitely like that small town community that I miss it a lot. I've come to appreciate it a lot more now that I'm not in it. But like, I do think like similarly to Preacher's Daughter, it is just like one of those experiences where at a certain point you're like, oh, I gotta get out of here. Like you do get such serious cabin fever at a certain
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, we've been chitting, we've been gabbing, chit-chatting,
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, because, you moved here and, you're still finding your footing, making
Yeah.
friends and everything. And I feel like as adults, it's a little bit harder to make friends compared to high school, I would say.
Fuck yeah.
So I'm wondering, you think we could be friends right now?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. What do
I
you-
hope so. I have to talk to like my team
Okay.
about it because like I'm not sure.
All right. Dude, forget about your team. I'm going to sway you right now. I actually have some gifts for you.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No. Oh dear.
So first one is,
You got me gifts?
yeah, you talked about this person. It is Fearless.
Are you
Yeah.
There's children.
I know. No.
No fucking way. Oh my god. Oh my god, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I knew you were a big fan of that album, so.
Stop. Oh my god. How do you know this stuff? Oh.
Sorry, the bugs. But yeah, great album. I love it too.
Oh my god, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
I'm sweating.
Do you have a record player?
I do.
Oh, you do?
I do.
All right,
Yeah.
let's add to the collection because I do have one more for you, and
Wow.
it's Fleetwood Mac.
Oh my god, I hate you.
Oh.
In a
That's-
good way. Oh my
okay.
god.
Yeah, this is,
Oh my
I think
God,
this is a
Christine.
live album version.
He's wearing an Eagles shirt? Come on now. Oh my god. I was so sad about Christine.
Yeah.
I love her so much.
Yeah, even here it tells you like, who's singing on the song.
Lindsey Buckingham. Me and Lindsey Buckingham have to have a chat. He needs to be humbled. He and I need to talk a little
Yeah.
bit. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That's so amazing.
I mean, hey, it's nice to have, friends, right?
It's nice to have friends. My team just got back to me and they said, "Oh, I guess you
Wow.
could be friends."
Wow, yeah, shout out to your team then.
Yeah, so many of them, all off camera.
Yeah, all off camera. They're just
I
on
got
the side, on
like
the side.
6 managers, PR people. Guys, it's okay. crazy over there.
Okay. And so, okay, now that we're friends, let's take a little bit of a friendship quiz too.
A friendship quiz. Okay.
And so let's talk about Coffee Breath. I love the song.
Thank you.
But then I noticed, like, I think in the beginning and near the end, you're doing a little bit of scouting. And was that because of, like, your time in, like, jazz ensemble? Or?
What the fuck? No, that's a little strategy that I like to call, oh my God, what do I do? And so you just go, ba, 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 ba. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, I feel like I'm on trial.
Yeah.
That's
The
crazy.
trial of Sofia Mills. And okay, so I need to notice too, because on your, because, you know, we set up the interview through Instagram.
Yes.
And I noticed, like, you have Korean
yes.
in your handle, but then also you follow someone named Don Mills, who's also similar to that. What's the string there?
So Don Mills is a rapper in Korea. Don't know about him. He seems a little problematic.
Okay, yeah, but you follow him though.
I do.
Uh-huh.
I do. I went to Korea in January, and I got really into, when I was like in high school, I got really into Korean cinema.
Okay.
So
like, very good.
It's amazing. Like, obviously Parasite, but like there's Park Chan-wook is one of my favorite directors of all time. He has this movie Thirst that was like put out in 2009. It's like such a trashy vampire movie. Oh, it's so good. And I got really into Korean cinema, and then from there I was like, oh, I want to understand all these references, and so then I got into Korean music, and then after that got into K-pop and everything. So I went to Korea in January, and I stayed there for a month, and I performed in Hongdae a few times.
Yeah, I was going to ask about your shows there.
Yeah, and so I just put my name in Hangul so people can like look me up in Korea.
Do you have like a big Korean fan base?
I don't have a big Korean fan base, but what I felt after going to Korea was that the way they treat music, the devotion that they have to music is something, like, it's very intimate. And so it's like, even though I was playing a show for like 15 people, it felt like very close. And so I just wanted to make sure that they could stay connected and that we could talk and everything.
Okay. Speaking about your shows with like 15 people and everything, let's like bring it back to the beginning. Do you remember Middle East?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that like your first show or?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's picture it like, you know, younger Sofia Mills, first show. What was the vibe like?
Oh, I was shitting myself. I felt horrible. I think more people need to talk about what it's like being an artist and absolutely despising playing live. I hate it. The part that I love about it is getting to connect with people, but it's like, and I played that, it was with, Eva B. Ross and Jack Symes, and they were absolutely lovely and wonderful. And it was fun, but it was a little bit scary. I had a few people from my high school come. 2 girls from my high school got in a fight in the audience.
That's crazy.
I was like, it was really great for me. I hate performing live, and I will always do it, but I felt sick. I felt like I was dying. I probably almost did die. It was very scary. But I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity. But it was definitely like, I don't know, I never expected anything to come from Coffee Breath. So for them to be like, come play a show and open for us, I was like, okay. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
No, that's crazy.
I know, yeah. Listening to your music is pretty crazy too, you know. In a way, I feel like it's, well, I know you're really into poetry too. And so, what?
Yeah.
What, you think I'm going to bring up something?
No, how do you know that?
I don't know, I just thought you were a big poet.
I am.
I think your music's poetic in a way.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So, tell me about Tumblr.
This is very serious.
Yeah.
I have a poetry blog. on Tumblr under an alias.
Yeah,
so
of
how the
course.
fuck did you find out? That's so scary. And yeah, I love poetry. I'm really into. I'm literally so shocked that you. Okay, I really love Mary Oliver. Mary Oliver is one of my favorite poets. I read a lot of bell hooks. I know that she mainly does essays, but she has a very poetic way of writing. I love Sylvia Plath. I have such an attachment to her because she's from Boston, and I think that Boston, yeah,
Oh, your
yeah,
accent's
kid,
better. Yeah.
yeah, and I think that she there's this certain like. I don't know how to describe it. There's this very certain type of melancholy that comes with growing up in the East Coast. Like New England has like I don't know if you've ever seen Manchester by the Sea,
Yeah.
but it's like very accurate in terms of like everyone's grumpy,
Mm-hmm.
and like you have to scrape the snow off your car at 6 a.m. You're pissed about that. Like everyone's very like, I don't know. It's a lot harsher over there than it is here, and it's still beautiful, and I love it. But she just captures that so well in her poetry. And I love her. So yeah, I write a lot of poetry, very much, yes.
That's great. And we're talking about Manchester by the Sea and everything, and then talking about your small town too. You said it was like what, a town by the sea, right?
Yeah.
So did you do a lot of fishing too?
Yes, I grew up fishing a lot on like my dad's boat and like gutting fish with him and yeah, it's always been like a big part of my life. Like when I go back, he has a few lobster pots, so we go and like haul the lobsters, and it's great. I love it. It used to be a thing when I was younger where I was like, oh, I don't want to go out on the boat, like it's gonna be cold and fish guts and blah blah blah. But like now I have such an appreciation for it because it's just such a deep cultural thing. Like everyone, like all my friends make fun of me because out of every food I probably consume clam chowder the most, and everyone's like, Sophia, what the fuck, that's disgusting.
Hey,
But it like makes me feel so like nostalgic and everything. So
there's a reason why it's called New England clam chowder.
New England clam chowder, baby. I love it. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I don't have any more questions on this quiz.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good. All right.
You are a smart man.
Thank you. Very resourceful.
Very resourceful.
But thank you for taking time to do this interview. It's
Thank
been
you.
a lot of fun. I hope you had a lot of fun.
Fun's a strong word for it. Yeah.
That's
I don't
fair.
know.
That's fair. But at least I hope, it was an experience for you.
It's amazing. Thank you.
I mean, we wanted to pull out all the stops for your first interview.
that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was
But
very impressive.
before we turn off the camera, though, we'd like to know, is there anything else you would like to plug? Your social media, any more shows that you're going to play live that you'll hate,
Ugh,
a new song?
a new song. Well, I did just release
Yes.
that cover yesterday. It's called End of Beginning. I also have here's a challenge. I have a TikTok that's exclusively for poetry, and it's under an alias.
Okay.
Find it. That's my challenge for you.
For all
Find
the
it. I will
stands.
give you no hints. And yeah, I mean, I guess just if you wouldn't mind following me on socials, and then I'll.
Is it just Sofia Mills?
It's
Damn, these squirrels. Sorry.
whoa. It's Sophia Mills Mo, Sofia Mills Mo. So yeah, that's it.
That's a wrap.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I wanna be your